I had like press interviews and they took me over Zoom and then they actually just gave a podcast of my voice and I was like, then why did you actually send me the, you are not doing the right sport for right event for your physique. He told me then I have the wingspan to be a discus thrower, to be a really good discus thrower, and he changed my event. 2020 pandemic happened. The academy shut down. We had to come back to Tamil Nadu and complete darkness because I was finishing up my 12th grade. And I went to Jamaica. And that's where I worked my ass off. No sponsors. I'm very grateful to my family. उन्होंने सिर्फ मेरे को support किया. The journey has never been easy. You know,
Yeah.
you will not first year because you finish your junior season, you're on top in the nation, and then you come to the United States and you badly make the finals. When I do both the events, I'm able to like balance it pretty well. My technique gets better. Each event complements each other. To work because of the circumstances, right? I 2 years ago, unfortunately, a circumstance took place where my scholarship from 100% went down to 70% because I had a setback of 3 years. The 9-year-old or the 10-year-old who was ashamed of her body is now proud of her body. Has now the body that she felt ashamed of is her power, is her tool. I have the fire, and my fire is the reason why I'm rising now.
It was a video podcast. Otherwise, I would have just
Yeah, no
called you
worries.
anytime.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I just want to make sure because I had like press interviews and they took me over Zoom and then they actually just gave a podcast of my voice and I was like, then why did you actually send me the why did you send me the Zoom? But I'm happy. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm sorry during the NCAA championship I couldn't. My headspace was not um, in trying to talk to media. I really appreciate the exposure. I just wanted to be focused and do what I did. So I'm
Yeah.
really appreciative that you once again wanted me on board. So I really appreciate your
Oh,
support. Thank you so much.
definitely, definitely. And thank you for also. See, you were the first one actually who came out and said that we are doing a good job. And any athlete who tells us that is always a plus point for us, anytime. Because we have been trying to do this job for quite some time and do it well every day.
I
Because
mean, absolutely. And also another thing I want to tell you is that your efforts are not just being recognized by me because I'm from India, but there are people from the United States who are actually following India Sports Hub. I personally know a lot of people who are actually following. Maybe because I would have like put it out there, or that I've been telling that hey, there's this medium, and I was telling my head coach, I was telling my throws coach, I'm like I'm really excited that I'm getting an opportunity to talk to you all because you guys have been doing a phenomenal job. You've been such an amazing advocate for not just us who are performing at the higher level, but also for athletes who are actually budding and nurturing the talent, just putting out the story, just to be recognized. And because many people see the glory but not the story, so I'm really happy
yeah,
that you guys are very well. I would want to say engaged in portraying the story of an athlete and showing the journey rather than just showing the glory. Like, hey, she did this, she won it, rather than say like, hey, how does she start? Because sometimes it's
yeah,
very important, right? It's very important for you
true.
to know how how did the person journey start, like कितना
Yeah.
आपने क्या किया है, आपने क्या खोया है, वरना मतलब कि कहाँ कहाँ पे आपने शुरुआत की, आपकी शुरुआत कोई लोग जो समझ पाते हैं वही उनके मायने रखते हैं. That's what I really
Right.
think. But yeah, I really appreciate you reaching, and I'm really looking forward. I'm really bumped of talking to
The
you all.
same
Thank you.
here, and yeah, and thank you so much for your kind words. Actually, we are working just to hear these words every now and then from all the athletes because our main focus has always been to promote non-cricket sports in India, and that's why we're trying to build that. Obviously, it's a very difficult field to build because
Mhm.
there's no money in it. Frankly speaking, it takes a lot of time to get
Hey,
there.
but things are changing. But things are
Yeah,
changing.
things are changing.
Hey, things are
Definitely,
changing.
definitely.
नीरज
So
चोपड़ा ने
every
जो
e-
जो नीरज
every
चोपड़ा ने
Olympic
किया है,
cycle. So yeah, yeah,
exactly every
every
Olympics level. Hopefully,
yeah, yeah,
2028 is the aim. Hopefully, we
yeah,
as track and field, we are hitting on a really bright and
yeah.
great radar. So yeah, I'm really hoping that sports management, sports industry, everything is changing right now as we speak. So, well, पैसा आएगा, अपना टाइम पे
Yeah, yeah,
आएगा.
yeah. Yeah, it will take. We
Yeah.
just have to sustain long enough to to enjoy
जी
that.
जी जी
Yeah,
जी.
yeah. Hopefully,
But
but
I
yeah,
think I think everything is happening at the right time, right? Because अगले साल हमारे पास Asian Games है, Commonwealth है. So
yeah,
it'll be the right time for you to like you've already started the base step of like hey reaching out to the athletes and establishing the
yeah,
communication. Now it's about the fact like okay fine how in tune or what's your engagement with them so that जब ये performance है, you know that you have the first hand information कि हमने all team पे
Yeah.
article किया हुआ है, तो it'll be good. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a very good valid point, and yes, we are working towards that only. And we are very happy actually to see that people like you are there in USA. You are performing at the NCAA level, and that actually gives a lot of hope to youngsters here who feel कि India में कैसे करें, India में नहीं कर सकते. So that's where I actually wanted to start with. कि you are there. You are obviously now. We have been in US for how long now? 2 years now.
No, I've been here since 2021.
2021, okay. So,
Mhm.
okay, you have been there for that long now. And I think
Yes.
what 1 year is remaining for your graduation?
I do. So technically speaking, one of the reasons why I'm not in India right now as I speak is because, one of the main reasons that I couldn't compete in India this year is also, the first thing is that I'm actually going to be graduating. I'm finishing up my undergraduate. As I speak, because I'm taking summer school, I'm going to be starting my master's program in August. So I was advised by the international office not to leave the country because,
Yeah.
आप समझ पाओगे, change of I-20 होता है, और given the present immigration climate is not something that's advised.
Yeah.
So my plan is to finish my undergraduate as I speak, and
Hmm.
then start my master's program in August. And I get to compete back one last time as a rebel, as a UNLV athlete for the next indoor season. मेरे पास सिर्फ एक indoor season ही बचा है. So after the next year is to come and perform in India during the outdoor season. Given the
Okay.
circumstance that there is Asian Games and Commonwealth, that's what I'm heading towards. So yeah.
Okay. So before we jump to that, actually, just wanted to
Mhm.
start from the scratch itself. So for the audience, please introduce yourself as to who are you, what are you doing, a brief, 2 lines.
I'm gonna try to keep it small.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
hi, my name is Krishna Jayasankar. I am Indian female discus thrower and also a shot putter. I presently hold the Indian indoor shot put record for women's shot put. I threw 16.03 meters. I was the first Indian woman to breach the 60-meter mark in the indoor circuit. And also, I became the first ever Indian female discus thrower to qualify and also be an All-American in women's discus throw. So I hail from Chennai. I was born and raised in Chennai to a family of sports persons. My mom and dad are basketball legends, Jayshankar Menon and Prasanna Jayshankar, and I have an elder sister Archana and my brother-in-law Rohit. So I am a younger sister, and yeah, that's I presently study in the United States. In 2021 I also became the first ever Indian female discus thrower to receive a Division I scholarship from the NCAA. So yeah, that's Krishna Jayshankar for you.
Perfect. That's perfect, actually. Krishna, so before we start, actually, let's start from the beginning itself. Being from a family of basketball players, obviously, you have chosen a very different field. But yeah, that definitely helps that you have athletes in the family who are pushing you to live a life in which you are focused towards health, you are focused toward building a professional career in sports. So that definitely helps. So my question was, how did it all begin? Where did you feel that yes, you can enter athletics professionally and not any other sport? Because I feel I've read somewhere that you wanted to pursue some other sport, I think tennis, if I'm not wrong. And
Yeah,
so
tennis
how
was my
did
first
that
love. Yeah.
entire, yeah, so how did the entire journey begin?
So, like I said earlier, my mom and dad are basketball legends. They play for the country. They were captains. So my mother has always, she instilled the factor of being athletic, right? Ever since my childhood days, my earliest childhood memory was be just to go onto the basketball court because my mom and dad would host camps and we would travel. My mom and dad were United Nations ambassadors. So most of my memories, and also my mom was the coach for Southern Railways and Indian Railways and Indian team and everything. So most of my earliest memories was just traveling, and my whole childhood, I would want to say even my schooling days, earlier schooling days, was surrounded with sports, and that has to do with the mere fact that I came from a sports background. And it all started when I was in my school. I studied in SBA School and Junior College. It's a high school it's a college in school in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And over there, when I was in my fifth grade, I stood out to my physical education teacher. Her name is Jyoti, Mrs. Jyoti. So Miss Jyoti, Jyoti Miss was the one who actually recruited me because she was looking for a person to, अक्सर कैसा कह रहे थे यार यार पीटी टीचर्स क्या करते हैं ब्रेक पे सड़क पे दे बी वॉकिंग अराउंड कि देखते हैं अरे यार इनको इनको पकड़ते हैं मतलब वैसे ही चला जाता है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द हायर ब्राइड्स यू सी आर नॉट समबडी दैट ऐसे हम चले जाते हैं हमें हमें ढूंढा जाता है क्लासरूम के अंदर हमें
Yeah.
ढूंढा जाता है तो आई वाज वन ऑफ द प्रॉस्पेक्ट लाइक दैट तो उन्होंने बोले कि तुम लंबी हो, जितने भी जो फिफ्थ ग्रेडर्स है तुम उनसे भी लंबी हो, और तुम मोटी भी हो, तो दैट्स अ मिथ, राइट? बिकॉज आपके ऊपर एक इमेज रहता है कि अरे आप थ्रोअर हो तो डेफिनेटली आपको मोटी रहना चाहिए, और आपको लाइक दैट्स दी perception that people have. And apparently I fit the perception. And fifth grade I started throwing shot put, and I started like competing for CBSE school. I won the national CBSE nationals, and I came junior nationals where then I was able to win. I mean, I was in the top three of the nation. And what happened is my breakthrough was in the year 2019. So in 2019, I received a call of a lifetime. I don't know that time. I don't know that that would change my life. So I got recruited to compete for Andhra Pradesh, where 10 Week, which is an academy run by Anil Kumble, our famous Indian cricketer. He came in. I think he came in contact with the Sports Authority of Andhra Pradesh. I think they merged, and they established sports. They established something called a COE, Center of Excellence, in Andhra Pradesh. So among myself, Jyoti Araji, that's how I know Joe. Like that's how I know me and Joe. We have been like many years acquaintance. That's how I met Joe. So we were all training there. It was the first time in India that there were foreign coaches coming to India for just track and field. Like we had sprints coaches, we had distance coaches, jumps coaches, and throws coach. That's where I met like my father figure. His name is Michael Wessel, Horace Michael Wessel. I met him there, and my first interaction was he was talking to me, and he's the one who planted the seed in my head that you seem to be talking English pretty well, you seem to be literate and everything. So have you ever thought about the NCAA system? That time I didn't know what the NCAA system was. मुझे पता नहीं था, बिल्कुल पता नहीं था कि कि NCAA system क्या होता है, what is the opportunity that can be provided. And I have known him for like 5-6 years now. He is the person who first installed the seed in my head, and he also told me that you are not doing the right right event for your physique. He told me that
Oh,
I have the wingspan to be a discus thrower, to be a really good discus thrower, and he changed my event. He changed my
okay.
event to a discus thrower. So discus became my primary. I was still doing shot put, but shot put was secondary. It was not something I really, really focused on. So yeah, he was the one who helped me. 2020 pandemic happened. The academy shut down. We had to come back to Tamil Nadu, and complete darkness, because I was finishing up my 12th grade. I was finishing up my high school in India, and I was very certain, very persistent, because he planted the seed in my head regarding the NCAA, and I was very much excited. I started talking to a lot of coaches. यहाँ पे Purdue बोल के university here. Purdue University is one of the established public universities, and I was talking to the coach that time. However, he's no longer staff there, so I couldn't get into a lot of things. So when the pandemic took place, I was very, I went through depression, because it was very hard, especially for a girl who really wanted to make to the world under 20, and wanting to like dream of coming to the United States and doing what he told, because he also gave me the exposure of many throwers, because from Jamaica, like many throwers, I know them personally, so they were living the life that I wanted to live at that particular time. So
Okay.
2021, I got the opportunity to, he invited me to go to Jamaica. I was 18 years old, never left the country. कभी कभी देश नहीं छोड़ा है, कभी परिवार नहीं छोड़ा है मैंने। जो मैंने जितना मैंने छोड़ा है, तो वो चेन्नई से लेके आंध्रा तक, वो भी अगर मैं बस लेती तो वापस मैं चेन्नई आ जाती। उतना दूरी पे मैं गई, मेरे मम्मी पापा ने मुझे अलाउ किया जाने के लिए। तो 2021 I took the flight along with my mother. मेरी माँ भी आई थी, and I went to Jamaica. And that's where I worked my ass off. No sponsors. I'm very grateful to my family. उन्होंने सिर्फ मेरे को support किया है, and they said okay fine, we're gonna try to help you, because मैं बहुत बोलते हैं ना कि अगर आपको वो जिद है तो आप कुछ भी हासिल कर पाओगे।
Mhm.
एंड मेरी जो भूख थी जाने के लिए, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट पुश्ड एंड मोटिवेटेड मी इन जमैका। आई स्टूड आउट इन जमैका एज अ रिक्रूट, and that's how I got the opportunity to come to the United States. I got recruited to come to University of Texas at El Paso. That's my first university, and yeah, that's how my NCAA journey started. I hope that was not that long.
No, 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 that's perfectly fine. Actually, we wanted to understand how it is, how that journey had started. Because NCAA currently, it might seem yes, people are aware of, but yeah, maybe 3-4 years back, people were not aware of. I think Tejaswin made it popular after his victory there in high jump, and then obviously then coming to Commonwealth and winning, and so obviously that
Mhm.
changed a lot. But
Yeah, definitely. TJ, jab, I recently just got to meet TJ. TJ is an amazing person, like really nice. He and his wife are amazing people. I got the
yeah,
opportunity to meet him, and he was very happy that I was in the NCAA system. I never got a chance to talk to him at the NCAA system, because
Yeah.
जब उन्होंने खत्म किया था, I think that's the year I came into the USA. I think I got
Maybe
into
yeah.
the USA,
So
something
22
something of the
only.
sort. Yeah,
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2022 is when I started to everywhere, because US is
Mhm.
such a big, broad, big country. Like the conferences भी बहुत अलग होते हैं, so it's not possible
Mhm.
कि his university and my university would interlink. But yeah, that's how my journey started. And TJ was the, I think, oftentimes for me, even though TJ was there, it's just like I oftentimes, when I came to the United States, I often felt sad कि काश कोई होता जो जिनसे मैं I could look into,
Yeah.
काश कोई होता कि बोल पाते कि अरे यार बच्चा कोई बात नहीं, परिवार से अकेले रहना, या खुद का खाना बनाना, खुद का कपड़ा कपड़ा धोना, या पढ़ना भी होता है, yes,
Yeah.
like I wish I had somebody to look up to and talk my struggles about. And that's one thing that hit me really hard. And also that when I was told I was the first woman to ever do this, it didn't hit me that time. But when I came to the United States, that's when it hit me. जब कोई, when you'll be the first one to ever do it from a 1.3 billion country,
Mhm.
it hits really hard, right? And I'm just so grateful that I'm here in the system, and I'm able to talk to you about the opportunities, about the struggle कि
Right.
मैं कर सकती हूँ तो तुम आप लोग भी कर सकते हो, and that's the
Right.
whole idea.
Yeah. So, do you feel NCAA is actually, see, it's obviously one of the biggest, I'll say, university program for sports in the world. And there are
Collegiate,
many
yes.
sports, and it's not just, I'll say, athletics. There are many sports associated with it. Obviously, basketball is where it obviously began properly, then athletics. Now, golf is also there and everything. So, do you think that for Indian athletes who obviously come, they obviously do not have the financial backing, I would say, or the exposure or the facilities in India. NCAA is something that they should really consider because it propels them in terms of a global competition and global stage. And it's better to do that rather than keep on struggling in India.
Well, funny enough, I'm still struggling in the United States. I'm still struggling here. Struggle is going to be
Okay.
everywhere you go. Like struggle
Yeah.
is going to be everywhere you go, right? And for to answer your question, yes, but that takes a lot of maturity. That takes a lot of autonomy for me personally, right?
Okay.
You're going to be away from your family. You're going to be miles and miles away from your family. You need to believe in yourself, right? And I strongly think now that I was at Eugene, as you saw the group picture. I was so happy
Mhm.
to see all of them. I don't know them
Yeah.
that much, but that's the first time I met all of them. I only person I knew well was Lokesh, but apart from that, I never knew Salva. I never knew Shrevari. I never knew them
Yeah.
because they were not throwers, and like kabhi, we've never had any mutual interaction. So I was very
Mhm.
happy to see that when I came to the United States, I didn't know a lot of people, didn't know a lot of Indians. But then now to see the trend to go upward is definitely it makes me happy because there are people trying to take those life decisions. There are people who are taking those chances just to be part of the system. And
Right.
like I reiterated, like struggle is going to be everywhere. But again, it's how how much you're willing to put in is what I would
Wow.
say.
Yeah.
What do you want to be? Do you want to be the best of your craft? Then take the uncomfortable decisions. But if you want to be comfortable and you want to be pampered, then then I wouldn't say that then might as well not leave the country because the struggle is not gonna it holds no value, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Understood. See, actually, what I have seen is personally that the transition that there are a lot of junior athletes who do really well. If you look at the junior federation cups or junior competitions, there are some athletes who do really well. But then, when it comes to senior categories, they suddenly disappear, or they don't perform, or they don't participate. But I think if you are in NCAA, the transition from junior to senior is actually laid out. It's not something that you will skip, right?
Mhm.
It's not something that you will forget or you might find a job and then leave it suddenly. That won't happen, right? So I think the transition, if it happens, then it's obviously the struggle is the same for everyone. Once you move to senior category, there's nothing
Yeah,
beneficial
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah, so absolutely, I would 100% agree with you, Sankalp. Like what you told me, Sankalp, what you told me was absolutely hit on money. When I came to the NCAA, I was I would want to say 19, so I was still a junior, and NCAA is a system that helps you to change, to transition yourself from being an amateur athlete to a professional athlete. Let me tell
Right.
you how, right? You have 4 years. Sometimes some people
Mm.
get 5 years. Like I know I'm coming back to my fifth year now, right? But you have to be really good for you to come back, for the university to like say, hey, you know
Yeah.
what, we want you back. So as a freshman, the how the layout, the workout layout is uh funded. Like they want, for example, if you're an international athlete, you have to be impactful, which means that
Mm.
you might have to come here, you might have to if depending on the program that you go to, they would want to do fine tuning, they would want you to impact, put the university on the map already as soon as you come here. But however,
Right.
from what I have been in foundational programs. First year when I came to the United States, first year when I went to UTEP, my first university, I won the conference. During my indoor season, I came second. I threw 1503, 15 flat, and then in the outdoor season, I won discus. But then I only threw 50-meter in discus. So I threw 50-meter in my freshman, and then I finally threw 55, 61. It took me 5 years almost to pick.
Okay.
But the thing is, but what I'm trying to tell you is the system here is laid out in such a way that you will see improvement, but you will not see improvement sudden. Like you will not see improvement just right now. And also you need to
Okay.
understand is the competition schedule in India and US did not like it's जमीन आसमान का
Mm.
फर्क है क्योंकि
Yeah.
India US पे हमारा इंडोर सीजन होता है. Like literally, I competed from Jan. I just finished my season maybe 2 weeks ago at Eugene. I have been competing since Jan all the way to June. Literally, how the competition schedule works is basically 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, back to back, you're going to be competing. You'll have 1 week break, right? It's going to be mental totally firing, but at the same time, it's going to make your body molded to get to access the best facility, best coaching, best competition. Because guess what? Everybody that you compete here are best. Like when I went to Eugene,
Right.
I left Eugene at 18. I was like, oh my god, I was a little hard on myself because I wanted to do more because I want to do more because I work hard. Like why would I do this? But then I
Yeah.
turn back and I look at the competition. Half of them are Olympians. Half of them are world finalists.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I'm yet to make a first national team, and I still made the impact. So this is the proof of the pudding, right? NCAA system, you may not see it at first because a lot of coaches have different theories. A lot of coaches, and especially the experience the coaches bring here is is the best.
Right.
The coaches here, my coach who's coaching me, his name is Jordan Roach. He himself is a professional thrower. So, and also my lifting coach who's played a huge vital role. Her name is Jamie Wynn. Coach Jamie has played a huge role in mine because she has seen my transition. Because when you come here at first, there's a lot of things you have to go through. There's not this
Correct.
physical aspect, but also mental aspect.
We have
Girl
to,
chode
yeah,
gaya. Yes,
unlearn
exactly.
and relearn. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And bad habits take time to break.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main differences. I think it's not just the specialty; it's also the fact that how the system is laid out. The first year,
Yeah.
everything is recorded here. Everything is like noted, and precise decisions are taken. People are met. People speak to you. They talk to you, and there are like India is definitely coming up with that because I was training in Reliance last semester. I had a great last summer I was in Reliance Mumbai. I was training with Coach Lemke, and he helped me tune my base. Coach
Right.
Lemke is an amazing person. I really appreciate him. And he is a legend here in the NCAA circuit because
Okay.
he has produced several athletes at the NCAA level. And several of them have been, he has had Olympic gold medalists. And to to say that, hey, we have a resource in India who has already been in the system, who already knows the need, knack of it, it's saying that, okay, fine. That can help us Indian athletes say, you know what, let's just try to give NCAA a chance. Let's just
Right.
see how the transition work plays. Let's just see how unlearning things can lead to something that's more impactful and powerful. And that's how I felt the NCAA system is. The journey has never been easy.
Yeah.
You will not first year because you finish your junior season, you're on top in the nation, and then you come to the United States and you barely make the finals at my first year. And then you turn back and realize, wait, these people are doing 60-meter. I barely reached 50-meter.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unlearning, and NCAA system pushes you to unlearn because if you do not unlearn, it's very hard for you to thrive in the system.
Right. So you are doing now two competitions like shot put and discus. Now, obviously, it's a very rare thing for a athlete to do both. Because techniques are very different. The entire process, one you're putting, other you're throwing. So there is a very different process mindset altogether. So why two events? First of all, and secondly, what do you plan to do in the future as of, because you can't continue with both. Obviously, you have to choose one. Or if you do, then please do let me know. And what is the change? Why are you choosing one over the other current in the future? And obviously, what is the difference in terms of technique and training you feel that you are better at in one compared to the other?
So, like I said, the system is such a way that when you are recruited as an international student athlete, they
Yeah.
want to they want to make sure that you're in the top three of the conference. Because for your
Right.
team champions is really important. For
Right.
me,
Right.
they would have recruited me as a discus thrower, but at the same time, I had my shot put mark. And they
Uh-huh.
always prefer international athletes to have two events.
Okay.
Always. Because the reason why you say two events is because we have an indoor and an outdoor season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because discus is an outdoor event, I will not be able to contribute to the team during
Yeah.
indoor, right? And
Yeah.
with God's grace, I could fairly say I'm decent with both of them. I could fairly say I'm actually pretty good. I'm good at both,
Yeah.
both shot put and
Definitely.
I'm good at shot put and discus. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why it, and also what I have seen is one event complements the other. So there might be
Right.
one day, for example, like I'm doing shot put and discus, right? During my week, let's say Monday I throw discus. I had a horrible day. Tuesday, मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ है. Monday, I had a discuss session. Horrible day. Tuesday, I take shot put. My day goes beautiful. Like it's amazing. The technicality is amazing. Thursday, when I come back and throw discus, is amazing. These two,
Okay.
these two. So that's how my coach and I we have noticed that when I do both the events, I'm able to like balance it pretty well. My technique gets better. Each event complements each other because,
Right.
like I said, the one of the thing is there are different areas and aspects when it comes to throwing like technicality when it comes to discus and shot put, but however
Hmm.
it's similar and it also has a similarity, the
Yeah,
way
it
we
has
both
definitely.
of yeah,
Yeah.
both of it is both of it is rotational. One
Yeah.
has to one has to, like, you have to make sure that you basically don't extend too much because the
Yeah.
ring is bigger than the other one. But then for me it has helped me understand, okay, fine, it has helped me understand how my body moves in different aspects, in different phases. And
Right.
to answer your question, if I'm still under the talk as to what I want to do, but I was like, I know a lot of throwers here in the US in the circuit who have gone out doing, and they're doing really well in both of them.
Yeah.
So I'm yet to take a decision as to what I want to accomplish. But the thing is, now that I look next year for Asian Games and Commonwealth, I'm very close to the qualification for discus,
Yeah.
for not for shot put. So maybe my priority for next year, I have to talk to my coaches, but discus is the priority. But however, discus is the priority when I come to India. But whereas in the US, it's going to be shot put because I only have an indoor season.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
do
think
plan to
this.
do. I do
Yeah,
plan
I
to do
think
both
this
the events
makes
though.
sense. This does make sense because in indoor world championships, India is completely negligible to say the least. Even this year, we did not send anyone. So, and well, I don't think because there is a no indoor stadium in, first of all, there is one built in Odisha now, and I don't know how operational it is. And most of all because our top athlete Neeraj Chopra cannot compete indoor. We actually have to explain to people why Neeraj Chopra is not there. You have to tell javelin is not allowed indoor, hammer is not allowed indoor, and so that's why. So I think for shot put you should stay consistent and stay put with indoor season, because obviously when indoor world championships happen and there is no one from India, at least your name can be put forward in terms of representation. And
Yeah,
obviously if you
and the
qualify,
aim.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. The aim is definitely to throw far, break the national record that I did because I know I'm more than
yeah.
capable of throwing further. And also one thing I must say that many people don't understand. I was told, but I see indoor season as like a warm up for my outdoor season. This year
Yeah.
I had a really good indoor season. Like this year I had a really really good indoor season, right? And that kind of stood out to me for my outdoor season. It kind of be like a trailer for what my outdoor season was
Mm.
had to offer. And I think many people, what I see is they kind of neglect to compete, but it actually helps your body to put it
Mm.
to get the adrenaline rush, to get the nervous system running. And many professional athletes, they're very very picky when it comes to what even to do what. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the reasons why I feel that um, we are not able to perform really well when it comes to the senior level, because senior, what happens is, we slowly, our federation is bringing up a lot of mates, because I think they understood that having to do more competitions can also help athletes to see where they are, to
Hmm.
change the areas that are weak, and help them achieve the better distance, qualify and make the country proud. So yes, that's what I have seen, that's helped me. Like, indoor season has definitely helped me for my outdoor season.
Yeah. Actually, after Tokyo, when Kamalpreet Kaur was able to throw 63, come at sixth position, it really felt that okay, this event is something that we can see more and more people coming up and throwing. Because it was Vikas Gowda, then Kamalpreet, and then no one in between, and then again a vacuum is there right now. And
Well,
uh,
we haven't seen a person. Seema Anthil ma'am was also there before commentary. She also did go to
yeah,
2012. She went to the
right, right,
Olympics.
yeah,
So we've had like people, but again, like I said, for me, one thing I had to understand when it came to throwing, it took me a long time. I'm still learning. Is in order for you to be a really good thrower, you have to be patient,
hmm,
because some people are God gifted. Like, there's a guy called Michaelis Alekna. He's the world record holder for men's
yeah,
discus. But
yeah, yeah,
but लोगों को पता नहीं कि उनके पापा is already a world record holder in discus. So genetically, it also it's brought it down, right? Unfortunately, मेरी
yeah,
मम्मी पापा तो discus thrower है ही नहीं, like they're basketball players. So the journey of being a really great thrower is gonna be slow. That's what they keep telling me. Like, you have to get stronger, you have to get faster. The more you technically get better, which is gonna take practice. It's gonna take a lot of practice,
yeah,
and I think I can say at the point of phase where, like, right now, I'm at the point of phase like, okay, fine. I believe that I can transition myself into a professional discus thrower now, because I'm slowly starting to hit those checkpoints. Okay, fine. Let's get stronger. Let's get faster. Let's get more technical. And I think that's why you said the vacuum comes in, because it takes time for a thrower
yeah.
to get to the peak and everything. And I'm hoping that next year comes and I'm able to try to fill the gap or fill the vacuum that you were talking about.
Yeah. Shot put, although we have seen some good names coming up, but hammer
Yes.
throw and discus has been a huge block right now. There's
No,
rarely,
I do know a lot of people. I do know, like, Coach Steve is coaching Reliance में बहुत सारे अच्छी hammer
yeah,
throwers हैं. Hashita है,
yeah,
Damit
yeah.
Singh is also
Tanya
there.
hai, yeah,
Tanya, of course, Tanya is also there.
yeah,
So there are people coming, and like I said, throwing is going to take a little bit of time. Throwing is not
yeah,
going to be as quick as like sprinting, because there's a lot of areas and factors that we have to work on. Not saying that sprints and jumps do not have those areas, but I feel like throwing, it takes a little longer.
yeah. Have you seen Valerie in person in action?
Okay, so I have not seen Valerie in person. But
Okay,
it's so funny. It's so funny that she has been in area. She was at Eugene, never been to bump into her once. She was at
oh,
Eugene,
okay,
never bumped into her once. But I have seen her coach, her fiance. I do have seen him, because I was competing against his athletes. And when I threw the
okay,
55-61, he was there when I did my best mark, because I bet the athletes, his
okay.
athletes. He was like, "Arey, bandi kaun hai?" And he was looking, he was talking to my coach, because
Okay.
what I did in regionals, because in order for you to qualify for the NCAA championship, the toughest meet is the regionals, where the top
Mm,
48 in the
mm,
entire nation, the West and East, two conference. I mean, West sides hote hain. You have to be in the top 12 of the nation, like top 12 of the West side. And when I walked in to the regionals, I was ranked 45th in the nation. Badly made the cut, because top eight is
okay.
only top 48 is
Yeah.
only
Mm,
top 48 are the only people who actually get to go to the regionals. I badly made the cut, and then I did what I did. I threw that in my first throw. Second throw was a little longer, but then I it just went out of sector. So I did what I did, and I think that awaked a lot of people in the circuit,
yeah.
and a lot of people got to know who I was. I was there, but then now they know, okay, fine, okay, there's a thrower from India. So
Right.
trying to put my name out there, and trying to fill the gap, fill the vacuum, and also like be a medium for Indian athletes to be recruited. Now that I did what I did, many coaches are interested in Indian athletes.
Right.
I personally know a lot of
Yeah.
athletes. I have
That
one of the coaches
pushes
saying that,
definitely.
yeah, exactly. And
Mm,
I'm sure when TJ did what he did at the NCAA championship in high jump, that's one of the reasons why that could help Selva to go to K State, right?
yeah.
And I'm hoping that I'm able to build. And I know a lot of athletes, like one of my coach Steve's wife told me this, that you don't know this, but unknowingly but knowingly you're paving your legacy, you're parting your you're paving your own legacy. You don't know that, unknowingly
Definitely.
but knowingly you're doing that. So yeah, I've I've tried to like be the medium and hoping that I can do more to give the exposure, get more exposure for Indian athletes.
No, definitely. See, after 5, 10 years, if there is a junior athlete coming to you and saying that I saw you, and after you went, we also decided to go, and now we are here, that will be I'll say that kind of compliment. No medal can share. No
Yeah,
medal can
absolutely. And
replace.
I'm
Yeah,
really appreciative that we're doing this interview so that,
yeah,
I'm hoping that after they watch, they see this interview, they feel like,
yeah,
you know what, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to take that uncomfortable step. इन्होंने किया है मैं भी कर सकती हूँ या मैं भी कर
right.
सकता हूँ क्यों नहीं and
Yeah,
that's the whole point. Being the first one does not mean that you don't talk about it. You talk about the journey so that people understand and resonate. And like I said, I've had struggle of not, I was hoping that I would, reach out to somebody and talk to them about challenges because आसान नहीं होता ना कि आप
yeah, right.
देश बदलते हो you go to a different country, you leave your family and everything. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of challenges that people don't think about.
Mm,
And I'm happy that we're doing this interview because what no, my whole purpose of talking to you here is spreading the word out. Help asking you to
right.
help me like spread the word out. Let's help them spread the word out because our country is talented. We have talented athletes. It's just
Yeah.
many people don't have the guidance and don't know the journey what it takes to go. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially in athletics, earlier the case was that either it was families like yours who had sports persons, or people from rural towns or very, very tier 4 towns who were coming, rural villages who were playing. You will hardly find a tier 1 upper middle class family sending his kid ki, okay, you become a shot putter or you become a 200-meter runner. Nobody does
Mm.
that. Right now what has happened with some success that we are seeing, people are now, okay, my son can run fast, okay, we can try for a 400-meter, we can try for 800 meters, something like that. So now they have started looking at that option. All earlier that was never the case. And if they can afford to pay to an university, that my son can go to NCAA and visit a university and go there and study, even if the scholarship is not available, at least that option is there. They know that, okay, this can put forward some kind of way for, it can open the way for everyone there. And
Yeah,
so
this is
I
what my
just
mother
wanted,
told me.
yeah,
Hmm
sorry, please. Yeah,
just to add a point, like I said,
yeah,
my mom was a coach. I know she's the national director for the Basketball Federation of India and everything. And she told me that ever since we our stories started coming out, many families there's been a social mindset drift,
yeah,
like a swap. Sports a BB career. Sports can be taken seriously, and
yeah,
the sports is not something for leisure. And I think I'm really happy that our stories have been put out so that the parameters are changing now.
right.
If that makes sense. This is what my mother told, and I wanted to share at this point. Yes, please go ahead with the
Yeah,
next question.
definitely, definitely. And see, this I wanted to ask now. Life of a student athlete in India is completely 180-degree opposite to what you have, right? Because here, being a student and an athlete, student is like completely zero, negligible, because it's some sort of college or some admission you have taken, but you rarely go there. You don't have to study, you barely pass your exams, and that's completely fine. And the rest of the time, you can train and you can basically uh, pursue your career in sports. But obviously in USA, that's not the case. You have to maintain certain CGPA, you have to attend classes and everything. So please tell me your schedule. How does it look like?
Okay, so before I tell you my schedule, I would like to inform that I am a full-time athlete, I'm a full-time student, and also I work part-time.
Okay, you work
So
as well.
I work as well.
Yeah,
And I have to work because of the circumstances, right? I 2 years ago, unfortunately, a circumstance took place where my scholarship from 100% went down to 70% because I had a setback of three
okay,
years, and I couldn't perform as to par of my head coach's expectation. And I have to work because financially I need support. I need to support myself here in the US, and that's one of the reasons I work.
what do you
So
work now?
I work here, so I work as a customer service rep here at the university. We
Okay,
have there's this big arena called Thomas and Mack Center. It basically hosts a lot of events. We are hosting the NBA Summer League, so I work in the ticketing department. I'm a customer service rep. So it's
okay,
also nice because I'm a business student. I get a real life
got
exposure,
it. Yeah,
because my mom keeps reminding me that sports is going to be there, but at the same time, education is going to be a weapon when sports because there will
obviously.
be time when I have to hang my boots. So getting this early exposure, I see this obstacle as a lesson and
Hmm.
not just a challenge. So to talk to you about my schedule, So morning I wake up, I have my track practice. Right after my track practice, I have gym, and right after my gym, I have classes. And then it really depends on the day. So here in the NCAA system, it's such a way, it's such a with an ease, is because your classes are around your practice.
Right.
So, for example, if you have, if, for example, I train at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I finish my, let's say my schedule is such a way that I finish track practice and I go lift, and after that I'm done with my practice for the whole day.
Yeah.
So once I do that, I am done for the day. So I just have class sometimes, depending on how my advisor is, she schedules my classes. I have classes in the afternoon, maybe from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. There might be days where I don't have classes. From usually my classes are from Monday to Thursday because Fridays are usually kind of off, but with very few exceptions. So I try to work during the weekends. I try to work from Monday to Sunday because of my,
Okay.
because of my dating. So yeah, that's my thing. Like, and at the same time, like my head coach is an advocate for high education.
Mm.
She keeps reminding us, like she keeps reminding us that you're a student and then an athlete. If we
Right.
cannot make a certain GPA, and I think this time the bar is to have a 3.3 I think 3.2. We have recorded one of the highest GPA ever in the history of track and field because she has been stressing on education. Literally, I've had calls. I'm not joking. She has meetings with my advisor almost bi-weekly, going through each and everybody's report. My advisor's job is to basically consolidate and see, okay, fine, who's on the red line, who's having a
Mm.
C grade, right? And she literally she has called me once in my life, and that was because last year I was competing in India, and I joined my college day because I was doing the open nationals and everything, and
Yeah.
I couldn't like I didn't know much, so I had a C in the class, and I finished my class that class with a B. When I finished B plus, I finished. I have my 80%, 85. But she called me like, "What is happening? Like this is not you. What is happening? You're a Dean's student. Like what's happening?" I said, "Coach, I just came back. Just allow me to like settle in for 2 more days, and then we'll do next exam." So yeah, and I think people don't understand, but you have to work for a degree here. And like you read, like India, there might be
Yeah.
different changes. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there just winging it and just going there and everything. But in the NCAA system, you have to work for what you get, and that's the beauty. You go through so much of hard work, so much of obstacles, so much of like challenges, but then at the end of the day, you know that there is going to be sunshine. You know that there's a degree waiting for you. You know that you're going to
Right.
be at top. And this year, I'm proud of myself. This year, the way I competed, I went not only I competed at the highest level of a collegiate championship ever in the world. At the same time,
Mm.
I'm a Dean's List student. At the same time, I'm a part-time worker. I have tried my best to balance and conquer in all three areas of my life. So yeah, and I think it does not only have to do with the fact that like I've said told you earlier, it's the hunger to be best that can like differentiate you from an amateur, from just a normal athlete to a champion. It's a mindset.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So in India, if you're living at home with your parents, obviously you're living in a cocoon, and such autonomy and such rigor doesn't come through. And obviously in India, if you're doing a part-time job or doing some kind of activity, it's looked down upon. The dignity of labor is not completely here. And frankly speaking, when you mentioned that your coach is completely involved with your advisor and your GPAs and everything, I don't think any coach in India does that. Any coach in India will not even bother what are your marks and what are you studying. Yeah, obviously
Yeah, I think
the focus
yeah,
of a coach here is purely that okay, which competitions are you doing and what medals are you winning? Because they know for a fact that even if you are a 10th pass or 12th pass, but if you're able to do well in sports, it's enough. You don't need a degree. But later on, it does affect you. But initially, nobody cares because they are just यहाँ पहले sports कर लो, then देखेंगे. But thankfully, in your case and in anyone who's going there, education is given an equal importance, and you are studying
education is given more importance.
more
Education is given
importance.
more
Yeah,
importance because there are days when I'm like calling my coach and like, coach, I have an exam.
yeah,
I cannot come for the track session. I'll be there for the gym session. He'll be like, okay, because if I don't do well in the exam, and if I go tell my coach, oh, because I had practice, she will like, why didn't you go tell your coach that you had exam? She
mhm,
always she has so when the semester starts, right? Every first week, every first Wednesday of the month, we have a team meeting.
okay,
Every Just starting from August all the way to June. Literally, we have a meeting with her. She's sitting down and she's putting out there. I need you guys to bump it up. I need you guys to like get your better grades better. You guys are
mhm,
slacking. Some of you are doing really good, but some of you are slacking. If you
Yeah.
guys have any issues, come and talk to me. And I think that's one thing I really appreciate about my head coach is that she cares for you. She cares. Okay, fine. If and also like she appreciates effort.
Mm.
Like, for people who don't know my head coach, her name is Kamini Jeter. She's one of the world's fastest women. Olympic. She's part of the 2012 world record 4 by 100. World record
Okay.
team. And she herself is, she's herself is a master holder. Like, she has undergraduate, she has masters, and she's a world champion. She is an epitome of what a true athlete, a true collegiate athlete could be. She studied not
Right.
in D1, she studied in D2, but then she understands what it takes for an athlete to thrive in this entire world. And she keeps telling us, hey, because if you see it this way, NCAA system is actually pampering you. If it gives you everything when you go for travel, like, you have a hotel, you have
Yeah.
everything booked. All you need to focus on is just
Yeah.
competing. Just give us the quality. We got you regarding your logistics or anything. But once you finish the NCAA system, which I'm very scared about because I'm actually going to be wrapping up my NCAA collegiate career here. I'm going to be entering the professional life. And
Yeah.
I've seen my coach literally talk to me like, hey, we have to book accommodation, we have to book the flights. There's nobody doing the work for you. So that's the
Yeah.
next step. That's the next step of like advancement, I would say.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that will be a gradual jump, which you will anyways have to do. Currently, you are in that system, so obviously it doesn't really make a difference. Why did
Infinite
you
difference, yeah.
change? Why did you change university, and how does it work? If you can change your college that easily, or why did you change that?
Um, I had like, I tore my shoulder when I was at UTEP. I told you I had 3 years of setbacks, injury, mental health challenges. There was a change of coaches. Um, I changed from UTEP is because I felt like they couldn't assist me better with my injuries. The sports medicine team was not part of my expectation. And at the same time, like I couldn't establish a communicable relationship with my former coach. I'm always going to give him his flowers because if he would have never been the person who took the chance of
Yeah.
recruiting the first ever Indian, woman thrower, I would have never been here. I would have never been speaking to you. But I just felt like he coached Mika. I couldn't like, even though I came silver, I won the outdoor championship for them. I just felt like I couldn't see myself in the university no more, if that makes sense. I couldn't see myself being there. I couldn't see myself talking to the coach and establishing the bond. And that's one of the reasons when I finished my 2022 season, I chose to transfer from UTEP. It's a procedure, though the process is basically like there's a portal that opens up and it opens up. I think the portal is opening. It opens up in May and it closes in July.
Okay.
So you have a couple of
Okay.
months to decide if you want to be on the portal. And there are certain like rules and regulations. You have to like talk to the compliance officer. So compliance officer is the one. We have different departments for everything. The compliance officer is the one who upkeeps your record in terms of like what are your community service, your leadership, like your. They make sure that we are inclined with the NCAA rules and regulations because we have a lot of
Right.
rules and regulations that we as student athletes have to abide by. So the compliance officer is the one you reach out to say that, hey, I would like to reach the transfer, I would like to enter the transfer portal. He or she cannot talk this is very confidential information, but once you enter the transfer portal, um, it's basically a betting game, like how you have IPL, like you have auction. Coaches are going to reach out to you, they're going to pitch, do their pitch, and you choose your best pick. And that's how I came to UNLV. I came to UNLV because I wanted to train with a coach name. His name was Dorian Scott. He was a Jamaican coach. However,
Okay.
23, 24, he got fired, and that's how Coach Jet became the head coach. So,
Okay.
and Coach Jet is not a throws coach. She had to do her own recruiting. She took some time, and yeah, that's how I chose to change to UNLV because I wanted to train with the coach. Then I had to stay back because I couldn't transfer because I didn't have the performance, and I just said, I'm done jumping. I'm done jumping
Yeah.
from place to place. From Texas to Las Vegas, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm comfortable here.
Yeah. So actually, that's a good thing that such a facility is available that you can change universities.
But
Obviously,
now they
because
change the policy as well. Now they change the
yeah.
policies. Now earlier when I transferred, it was only a one-time transfer. Now at least can
Okay.
transfer every year. In the 4 years you're going to be in
Oh,
the US, you can transfer every year. Depending if you don't like working with the coach, you can change it. The thing is about the NCAA system, there's a lot of changes. Changes happen every single day as we speak. So to be
right.
that's the job of a compliance officer, like very hard job, but their job is to like keep
Yeah.
inform
Keep
the
up with the
athletes,
rules.
keep inform
Yeah.
the yeah, keep up with the rules, keep informing the coaches and athletes regarding the changes that's been made as we speak in the NCAA system.
Right. Because I think once you see, for supposing in India, if I'm associated with a college and they give me a scholarship, obviously it will be impossible for me to change, because then ego battles will come into the place that, yeah, we supported you, now you're leaving and all that, because their expectation is that you will start performing and delivering. So definitely, if that's such an open system there, it definitely helps to explore more opportunities in terms of you're not able to work in
Well,
your current system.
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But at the same time, like, the coaches are still disappointed. When
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, the coach that I work with at UTEP, he actually just retired from UTEP athletics, and when I met him last year in the season, like he was a little disappointed. You can see the girls because because they knew what
Yeah,
they know when you have talent, and when they know when you have the stuff, or how we put like the talent or the impact. And when you
yeah.
see them, when you see it let go, like you feel bad, and
Hmm.
that's part of life. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do because at the end of the day, you need to look out for yourself. So yeah.
Yeah. What does Division One scholarship mean? What does come? What all does come under it?
For international students, what I know is basically insurance is covered, your education is covered, your boarding and lodging is covered. At the same time, they give you like a miscellaneous expenses, like which can be like your food expenses if you are on a full ride scholarship, 100% scholarship.
Okay.
And I think for what I know is as a freshman, when you come here as a first year, like you have to live on the dorms, and then a second year you choose if you want to be on campus, you can live on campus, or then you can come on to like off campus housing. So I'm basically living in an apartment style complex,
Okay.
and my education is being covered, and partially of my like I said, my scholarship is just I'm not on 100% scholarship yet. So it partially helps me with my rent, but I have to like manage my own food expenses or my other needs. So yes,
Okay. So just to put it simply, if the university would have kept a certain threshold that if for in this event this athlete is able to achieve X, then we will be able to give him or her full scholarship, right? I'm
yes,
assuming this is how it works,
yeah.
right?
You do have like a certain team. You have like the scholarship criteria standards that have to be met. So once you're able to hit the standard, like I have hit the standard this year of trying to be on the full ride scholarship, but my case is a little different because I don't have an outdoor season. Usually, at least need to have an indoor and outdoor season for you to be on a
Got
full
it.
ride scholarship. But
Got it.
my case is that I just have an outdoor season. I just have an indoor season left. So my chances of getting 100% scholarship back is very high, unlikely possible. But talks have been made with my head coach, and she's trying her best to like
Yeah.
help me, pay my rent and everything, so I can work less and focus more on
Yeah.
my craft.
This group, yeah, right. So
Yeah,
Division One
but
is the highest level, or is there a level
yes,
above it?
division. So we have D1, which is the Division I level,
Yeah.
and Division I level is where you have the best of the best. Like you have the best of the best, where there's more money implemented. Division two is the next. Not saying that Division one is the best of Division two is the best of it. We have been having some really nice, really good performances in Division two, but less sports are affiliated with D2 compared to D1 because D1 there's a lot of sports. Lacrosse, to name a few, lacrosse, football, American football, basically soccer,
Yeah.
and everything is part of the D1. Whereas in D2 you have less play, and then you have D3, which is I believe D3 is just for American students, if I'm not wrong. D1 and D2, you are able to recruit international students. But many prefer to go to D1 is because the fame of the university. Big universities like UNLV is one among them. Kansas State is one among them. University of Texas at Austin, Longhorns, they are one among them. University of Oregon. So these big schools, and I strongly think from what I believe is D1 is like a big breakthrough. A lot of people notice you, like you get a lot big exposure
Right.
than being in D2, if that makes sense.
Okay, got it. Understood. Yeah, obviously that kind of support. Like uh, in India, if you are part of the TOPS program, then obviously there is a separate, completely different, I'll say, value proposition available for you compared to a normal athlete who's
Yes.
there, right? So, if I am a 12-year-old guy and I
Hmm.
feel that after 12th standard I should pursue for NCAA for my
Hmm.
undergraduate, graduate, and everything,
Yes.
what should I do right now so
First of
that
all,
I
not start. First of all, sorry, go ahead. Complete your question. I
so
apologize.
basically what should I do so that I get noticed and I get recruited by some universities to start my journey in NCAA?
Okay. To begin with, I wouldn't recommend anybody to start the NCAA journey just at the end of their high school. 12th is not the right time. I think if you want to be part of the NCAA system, I would highly recommend you all to start looking into the system as soon as you finish your 10th grade, because that's going to
10th.
give you 2 years.
Okay. Oh, okay.
10th. Why? Because I'll give you the reasons why. It's because you live in a different country, right? The transcripts that have to be, the Indian transcripts have to be, audited, or have to be like, translated to the Indian grading system. Like NCAA, when I remember this, because I'm not be able to give the clear and concise because I haven't done this in a long time. But what I
Yeah,
remember
that's
is
okay.
basically like you have to set up your own you have to set up your own system account, and there are a bunch of questions. There are a lot of questions. They would want to know you since your sixth grade. And I don't think you starting off the end of 12th year is going to help you. Like end of your 12th grade is going to help you because that's going to delay your process. I think one of the best ways that the athletes who are really interested in coming to the NCAA system is to definitely first watch the system, get more inclined to what's happening in the system. Like watch events, like go to the NCAA championship, get to the NCAA region. I knew the standard and the quality before even I came to the NCAA because I was watching. You have to
Okay.
be a lover for the. You have to be a. You need to know. You need to be a student of the craft, right? You need to be a student of the
Right.
sport. If you want to be an NCAA athlete, you need to be a student. You need to know as well, okay, fine, which are the universities that I'm budging it at. And best way, because social media is such a great tool these days. Coaches
Yeah.
are on Instagram. Coaches are on Instagram searching for, because I know, because I was talking to my coach because he right now we're at the recruiting phase. He's on Instagram reaching out to different people, like on Instagram reaching out to people like, hey, do you want to come to the United States? If you are really interested in
Okay.
coming to the NCAA system, do not be afraid to talk. Do not be afraid to text them, to reach out to the coaches. If you
Yeah.
really are interested in coming to the NCAA system, the one best way is to definitely reach out to the coaches. And also is just to navigate the athletics website of any universities. Let's say, for example, you, like the 12 year you, are planning to go to, let's say, your dream school is Florida State University. Now, 18, you became 18, you're 16 years old. Like I said, 2 years is going to help you, right? How are you going to put yourself out there? How are you going to put yourself out there to a coach to know, okay, fine, you are in India. The coach has no knowledge about India.
Right.
How are you going to get to the coach? If I were you, I have done this basically. I would go onto the university website, go onto the sports tab, I would click on track and field, and then I would click on something that says coaches because there are going to be tabs and there
Got it.
I'll be able to
Mm.
find the email address of the coach,
Right. Got it. Okay.
right?
That's how you
And if you're able to,
reach
yes,
basically. Yeah.
yeah. And also another thing, if you want to go an extra mile, go onto the Scott and plus if you plus additional links or just navigate through the
Mm.
website, you'll be able to find the standard, the qualifying standard for a scholarship. It is clearly written. If you're going to be a walk-on, if you're going to be on a partial scholarship, if you're going to be a full scholarship, what are the criterias? And if I were
Sorry.
you, I would go. Go ahead.
Sorry. What's a walk on? Sorry.
So walk-ons basically not being on scholarship, no
Okay.
scholarship.
Okay. Got it.
People who are used to walk-ons are the people who are local, who are within the US,
Or
because
who can
they
afford
they don't.
basically, or who can
Who can
afford.
afford?
Yeah.
Yeah, naturally. Who can afford? But they just want to be a part of the team. But many walk-ons are actually gotten scholarship, is what I'm trying to say. Because they have nothing,
Got
so
it.
nothing they get something, and do etc. So that if I were you, I would jot down like this is what I did right in 2020 when I was really sad and everything. I would go onto the laptop. I would go take my laptop. I would basically track down the NCAA system. Okay, fine. Let's say if UNLV is in the Mountain West Conference, let me look at the Mountain West standard. Let me look at the top three performance because if you're international, you best believe you have to be an impactful athlete. You have to
Right.
come onto the United States. The first year, second year, you have to be in the top three, or let's say top four. Worst case, top four. Right? You have different conferences. You have like SEC, Southern Eastern Conference. You have ACC. There are various conferences. It's like it's an ocean, but that's where it's going to start for you to reach out to the coaches because the coaches are on hunting. There are coaches are on hunting. If you do not find the email address, reach out to them on Instagram. Reach out to them. The best way you can reach out to them is Instagram or email. Many coaches are up to par with their email address, are up to par with their emails. They check emails thoroughly, regularly.
Got it.
And that's how
Understood.
you build yourself a resume. I did. That's what I did. I built myself a resume, put my stats out there, and also like every single anytime you send out an email, make sure you attach a resume. At the same time, attach your World Athletics profile because
Understood. Yeah.
that's going to give
Yeah.
them the your growth, your progression. Because that's one thing
Yeah.
that the coaches here see. They see how have you progressed
I think that's the
and
first
what
thing
have
they will look at before anything. Yeah. That's the
yeah.
first thing they'll look at
And I
before
think that's one
anything.
of the best ways to reach out because I can sit here and tell you, okay, fine, this is the thing, these are the coaches and everything. But if you are not putting the effort of writing to the coach email, putting yourself
Mhm.
out there and telling, hey, my name is so and so. I'm an international athlete, track and field athlete from India. I'm really eager to come to the NCAA system. This is my performance. Boom. This is my profile. Please tell me what are my next steps. Is there any possibility for me to, talk to you or reach out to you? Many coaches, you must best believe they would reach out to you and they'll be like, yes, let's try to help you out. Because you need to understand, many coaches here are very much interested in recruiting international athletes because they know when you get the international athletes, they know they're going to be impactful. They know that they
Yeah.
are going to get the reward of what they put. So yeah.
Yeah. They'll be sincere, obviously, and they'll be more focused, definitely.
Because
So, which are
that
the,
also has to do with
sorry,
that also has to do with the fact that you have sacrificed a lot of things.
yeah.
So that's one of the reasons. And coaches here love international athletes. They do.
Got it. So, which are the top three universities in US traditionally and currently who are there for track and field? Obviously, I'm asking only for track and field, who are definitely the best one to get into, as in to
Okay,
aspire
so
to.
three. Yes, so three universities. I'm gonna name the championship, the NCAA championship for men's. If you for men's track and field is Texas A&M. Texas
Okay.
A&M, then known as the College Aggies. USA, University of South California.
Mm-hmm.
That's number two. These two teams tied up this year for the NCAA overall men's championship track and field,
Mm-hmm.
trophy. And for women, I would say the top this year the team that won the women's outdoor track and field championship was University of Georgia.
Okay.
So these are your top three universities. And apart from that, you have University of Texas at Austin. You have University
Hmm.
of Oregon. But you also need to understand that if you are trying to reach out to these big universities, you need to have
The competition
world
will
class
also be
standards.
higher. Yeah.
Yes, the competition is going to be harder because these schools are only going to recruit top of the top.
Yeah.
If
Got it.
if you think you're a development athlete, I wouldn't highly recommend for you to go to these big universities because you will not be able to thrive.
Right. Unless
So
you are
yeah,
like really talented and really accomplishing already doing very well in junior level.
I would say yes. I would say yes. But
Got it.
the thing for me, especially for me, was I was I would say during my juniors level, I had my Asian ranking. I was ranked in the world for my juniors. But then my timing was different because I was during the pandemic. I was the pandemic batch, right? So many universities were losing money. They didn't have money. They were losing money.
Mm.
So my options were pretty narrowed down. But then when I was on the transfer portal, then I had like a lot more universities. I had almost like 35, 40 universities trying to pitch and
Mm.
help me. And I wanted to go to a school where I know I would be able to develop myself because I wanted to be impactful, but at the same time I don't want to have injury because I was still recovering from the injury that I had at UTEP. So yeah, for me personally, it's also a personal preference. Many athletes here they value money, also given the house situation and everything. Even though for me money was also an important factor, but the thing is for me also like I that's where the mindset also comes. Right, my mom and dad they are coaches, and I was talking to them. They said, hey, choose a university where you can develop as an athlete throughout the years,
Right.
because the aim is not just to be a shining star in the NCAA system. The aim is to shine for India as well. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So coming to that last point of shining for India, what's the plan? So CWG will have a next year, then Asian Games and Olympics. So the next 3 years are lined up in terms of competition, and injury is another aspect which obviously it becomes detrimental to your participation, and plus you will have to obviously perform at a certain level. So what's the plan? That yes, these are my next 3 year plans to get into these competitions and present it.
First of all, is to help Krishna Jayasankar. Right now, Krishna Jayasankar has been having injury. She's been having a calf injury for past 2 years. Krishna Jayasankar was performing she was performing what she performed with the calf injury. So right now, as I speak to you, I'm taking a break. I'm actually going to be having a doctor's appointment tomorrow as I speak to
Acha.
you. So next week, I'm actually going to have a minor surgery for my calf.
Hmm.
This is the wear and tear that many athletes go through. Challenges are part of a testimony of an
Yeah.
athlete's life, and these are every small setbacks that I have in my life that I'm hoping that next year is a greater comeback, right? So the plan is to definitely take care of this gap. I'm going to be starting my off season in August. That's the plan. Finish my NCAA collegiate career next year, which is indoor. Get that NCAA trophy. That's the aim for US, and then come to India and make my national team. That's the aim. Like you said, next 3 years are lined up, and I want to make an impact, a strong and
Right.
powerful impact. That's the plan. Like make my national team. You know, and take it from there just to make the national team because I've never made national team. I've been deprived of several opportunities. I've been very close to make the national team, sometimes centimeters. Sometimes make you feel like damn, I just feel
Yeah.
I could have never I didn't have to throw, I lost my opportunity because I was very close to making the national team, but then fate and luck is also another thing. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that next year I'm able to, change my fate. I'm able to like represent India for the Commonwealth and Asian Games, but at the same time win a medal as well. That's also an important thing. But the long term goal is definitely LA 2028. I've
Mm.
thrown there. Plus, I have been, Nevada is very close to very close to California. So I know the area pretty well. I know the throwing surface because I'm exposed to the best facility. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a great experience and opportunity from representing India for the LA 2028. Come back to where it all started, as a amateur athlete.
Definitely. Definitely. That should, we pray for that to happen. Definitely. So next year, I
It's
think you
about
should.
like I want to I think I'm at the point of phase where like I'm dreaming, but I'm also kind of done dreaming. It's time for me to like convert chase. So that's what I've been doing this year. This whole entire year, it's been just a year of redemption. Because like I said, 3 years of injuries, like mental health challenges, change of coaching staff, putting yourself through like so much of, I'm working, I'm studying, and I'm training at the same time. So this year, this journey has been just pure, resilience, perseverance, and redemption. At the same time, it's just trying to chase my dream into a reality. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I've been doing this whole year. And that's what I plan to do, set forward. So yes.
Lastly, I just want to touch upon a sensitive topic. Obviously, I have read it earlier that you were suffering from body shaming and whatever people were talking about. And obviously, parents are always there to support that. Don't worry, beta, is kuch nahi hota and all that. And people forget and move on. But somewhere it impacts the child. It does. It's not something that anyone is immune to. And so, I think moving to US or Jamaica would have definitely helped you resolve that aspect. But overall, how has been the journey?
Well, I can definitely say that the 9-year old or the 10-year old who was ashamed of her body is now proud of her body. Has now the body that she felt ashamed of is her power, is her tool, right? And like I said, yeah, my mom and dad, my mom, she's my mom never like, there are days when me and my mom we will have riff off, right? Because she she will like, beta, ye kapda mat pehno yaar, कि आपका आपका muscle दिख रहा है, लोग आंख, my mom is a big person, like, लोग आंख, आंख डालेंगे, मतलब कि, नजर लगेगा आपके ऊपर, and I think me and my mom we've had, and I think I was very young to understand that point of view came from a very safe and a protective space. But like my mom and me and her are very similar personalities, so I didn't understand. I said, why is she always been a hater? मेरी दीदी तो कपड़ा पहन सकती है जो भी for example sleeveless कपड़ा जो she can wear a sleeveless top, but why I said I'm not able to wear a tank top. She and I are very different. We both have different body types. She's very lean. I am not lean. I'm on the muscular side, and it took me a lot of I would say a lot of transition in my face came when I went to Jamaica, right? Because that country, like, I was 18 years old, throughout, like I said, throughout my schooling and everything, I stood out because I was tall than my other classmates. And I was, I had like, I also, was on the little stocky star, right? And I was made fun of, and I was feeling very bad because I just wish there was somebody who I could resonate with, right? And that's what I'm trying to tell you. This resonation feeling or trying to look for representation has not just started with a person who came to the United States and trying to look for somebody who can represent, like for a representation. It is a dream of a child who was a victim of body shaming to look at somebody and say, hey, you know what? This person is beautiful. If this person is able to throw herself with confidence, why is it that I cannot do it, right? And I think that's one thing that I went to Jamaica that broke my myth because
Yeah.
people there don't care, do
Yeah.
not care. Those ladies out there, they flaunt their curves like I don't know, like it's the proudest. That's what they're proud of, and I think that's what like diversity, different perspective, different me being in different countries help me. I would want to say help me find my inner self beautiful. Right. Now you come and tell me, I'm like, I don't, you're a hater. Like, keep barking, dogs keep barking. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
right.
And I think that's one thing, like, being at a very young age, we are in such area, moti nahi ban sakte ho, mat kha, jana mat khao and everything. Some of us, it's genetic. I have a physique of my dad,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that I'm not beautiful or I should be a victim of body shaming. My type is also beautiful.
yeah, absolutely.
And I have put it out there that the the body that I was ashamed of, now I'm happy to see people, all the haters who are talking bad about me are now talking proudly about me. That's a W right there for me as a
Mhm.
person. That's a W right there because you once told me that I was ugly, that I would not achieve. My body was horrible, or your throwing is not going nowhere. Now that I'm able to shine and thrive, this is the same body that has developed over the years, been through so much of trauma, been through so much of I don't know, obscurities. I don't know the right word, trauma, to find the inner, like they say, I have the fire, like there's
Yeah,
a bird called Phoenix, right? She thrives from the ashes. You know, I have the fire, and my fire has is the reason why I'm rising now. Because if I had let those thoughts shut down myself, I don't know. I can tell you there are days when I want to harm myself because I'm like, कोई भी मुझे पसंद नहीं करता है क्यों क्योंकि मैं मोटी हूँ मतलब कि मैं अलग दिखती हूँ लोगों से because and also like it's the perception. I'm so grateful that right now I think what I know is a lot of people are changing their thought process.
yeah,
A lot of people are changing. Curves, being curvy is also beautiful. Being curvy is also strong. Being curvy is nothing, has nothing. It's nothing that seen less of, if that makes sense.
mhm. Yeah,
So I am proud. I am proud of the woman I've transpired to today. The woman who was sad of not feeling recognized to what I'm
mhm.
receiving and what I'm getting just because not because my body has played a huge role, but my body has also played a role of the way I'm performing because I had to make myself mentally stronger and physically stronger to reach where I have reached right now.
Right.
And
Mhm.
the journey has just started and it's gonna keep continuing. It's gonna keep going, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. So and to all the women out there, to all the ladies who have had a similar struggle as me, only thing I want to tell you is don't let those people talk you, push your shoulder down. Don't let them do that to you. You know your
yeah,
inner world. You know your inner beauty. And let your inner beauty shine. If I am able to put myself out there with confidence, if I'm able to talk to you, or if I'm able to surpass those challenges, so can you guys. And we as women, we can definitely rule the world, and we have, and we will. So that's the message that I got
definitely. Yeah, clap
for
for that.
yeah. I mean, that's the message that I got for everybody out there because it change the your struggle or any setback that you see yourself shouldn't be your any failure or any obstacle or any challenge that you see shouldn't define you.
Yeah,
Rather it should be the motivation factor to change and to make you a better and a beautiful person. And that's what I've tried my best. I have tried all these negativities, all these failures, all these challenges. I have told myself that these are not going to let me define myself. This is not going to define as who Krishna Jayasankar is. It's going to mold me, but it's not going to define who I am. So yeah.
perfect. Yeah. Krishna, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for opening up to us and talking to us like this because this definitely opens our mind as well to what athletes are going through, what they are doing, and not just in India but even outside India. And this definitely opens up a lot of platforms and I'll say eyes to people who are wanting to set their kids into track and field, who want to be part of track and field, and not just I'll say regular athletes, even para athletes. Para athletes also go through a lot of body shaming or some sort of social injustice, I'll say. And for them as well, accepting it and making it their asset so that they can do well and represent India, it's a big deal. And definitely with every such example, there are hundreds other who get motivated. So thank you for that, and thank you for today's discussion. I think it's a great connecting with you, and I think now that we have been connected, we'll stay connected for for a very very long time, and we'll keep on talking. And I think after we publish this and some people watch it, you will get some or the other request on Insta DM asking ki, how should we do it. Definitely that will
No,
happen.
I have already been reaching out, like, I just joined Instagram, by the way. I just joined Instagram
Yeah, I
1 month
saw that.
ago.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
have
yeah.
with my friends, I have a lot of people taunting me, like, okay, finally tu aa gayi hai Instagram
Yeah,
pe, When I broke the national record, I had a lot of people ki tu kahan hai? Matlab ki the only way
yeah,
to reach out to me was through, if you have my number, or aap mere
yeah,
papa ko jante ho, everything, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I am glad that, and I'm so proud that I took the decision, because me not being on social media, I also had to do that. I had body insecurity, right? Because that also played a huge role for me.
Yeah.
So I am happy that I am on it right now, and I'm trying to like establish my brand, because this should have been, this was long due. But I promised myself that when I made myself the promise of doing what I wanted to do this year, and now that I've done it, I did promise myself that I was going to, slowly start putting my presence on social media. And I'm genuinely happy
Perfect.
that we're able to connect. A big thank you to each and every one of you who's actually going to be watching this. And,
Yeah,
hopefully me talking to you guys have not just inspired you, but lit a fire in you, saying that if she can do it, I can also do it. And big thanks to my family for always been supporting me. UNLV Analytics, my team, entire training staff, and also India Sports Hub. Thank you so much for having me, Krishna Jayasankar, all the way from Las Vegas. Speaking to you all the time. Really pumped that you guys are doing a great job. Not only you, Salkap, San,
Uncle.
Sankalp, Sankalp, yes, Sankalp. I apologize. Sankalp, you and your team has been doing a great job. Sorry to butcher your name. I really apologize.
That's
But
okay.
thank you. Please keep spreading the word. Please keep, allowing Indian athletes get their flowers. Allowing, yeah,
Yeah,
every athlete out there get an exposure. Be their voice. Help them, get their exposure. So thank you so much for all that you've done. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, we're gonna have this relationship. It's only gonna get stronger and
absolutely. It will. It
impactful.
will
Yes.
definitely. Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Please
so
take care,
much.
and please take care of your injury. Yeah.